we need purpose. And if we have it, we'll move the ends of the earth to do something with it. And if you don't feel like you have it in your life right now, I don't know what the answer is, but I know you've got to go about trying to busy yourself to find it, whether it's in communities, groups, information like this, or just the process of self-mastery. Because I do think that that word feels big, purpose, like, what's your purpose? It's like, oh, that's big. And in some instances, it's supplanted. For me, like, one of the things that is abundantly clear right now that I never had until I had a child was like, oh, well, my purpose is obviously my family. But if you'd have asked me the preceding 30 years what my purpose was, I'd give you a vague answer of like, I want to help and da 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 da. So that's one way of getting it, but not everybody becomes parents and things like that. So I think this quest for purpose and meaning and mattering is really vital to the human condition. And I agree with your earlier point that it's not just a solo endeavor. It's about the communities and the people around us too, right?
100%. Yeah. I mean, we are all social creatures. The worst thing we can do to a human being besides end their life is isolate them in solitary confinement, take them away from other people. That's like the worst thing that we can do to people. And so if that's the worst thing, then what's the best thing? Maybe being around other people.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's I think of purpose as like the overarching aim of like my actions and my identity cover, and then meaning as like life makes sense and it has this direction, and then mattering as the actions that I'm taking difference. And so like having that hierarchy can be helpful. And the I always like to give some action things on
For sure.
on podcasts, like the easy, not easy, but an exercise that you can do, because purpose is a big question. You're not just going to figure it out in 2 seconds. It takes effort to kind of dig and figure those things out. But one I like is writing down 30 things that you've ever been passionate or curious about in any area of your life, which that takes a long time to think about 30 things. Maybe for your friend, like, this wouldn't be the time to do that. But if you're in a place where you're feeling like, I want to put some effort into figuring what this thing is, what my purpose is, writing those out and getting as specific as you can with them. So, for example, instead of writing out, I've been curious about cooking, you might write, I'm curious about Thai food, specifically noodle dishes and the way that the spices interact with the noodles to create the flavor. Or curious about the saxophone, is specifically jazz and how all the musicians work together to play music. So that takes, hours to write those 30 things out, perhaps. But then once you have those, come back another time and you'll start to see some through lines. Like, where are some of these things that are disconnected, connected? Maybe you enjoy being around other people. Maybe you enjoy puzzles. Puzzles not being like an actual puzzle, although that's fine too, but like trying to figure things out. Maybe you're a man and you like having a mission. Like, I totally agree with you. I think men need missions. So once you have kind of some of those through lines and like your top 5, you can then kind of continue to boil those down towards 1 or 2 things, and then you link them with a problem that you see in the world. So I would, again, write out 10 problems that you see in the world. And they can be big, broad problems like men's mental health or, environmental problems or whatever it may be. And then if you link those 2 things together, so now you've like kind of done some of that archaeological work on things that you're interested in based on your life history and the experiences that you've had with probably also your life history and the pain points that have been caused by you. I mean, like, for me, mental health is really big. I had some people close to me die by suicide. My grandfather died by suicide. That had effects on me and my family in all these different ways. And so I have more energy towards those types of conversations that can push through when there's different challenges.
All right, friends, thanks for tuning in to another episode of Radical Health Radio. We got a fresh new podcast for you every Wednesday. If you enjoyed the show, consider liking, subscribing, reviewing, and rating us on your podcast platform. It helps to spread this message of radical health. We'll see you next week.